and try to stay out of the trap for points and prizes. As always, if you're scoring at home, congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, the star of Politically Incorrect, Bill Maher. Bill's guests tonight, Adam Carolla, Jimmy Kimmel, Ellen Fine, and Sherry Schneider.
All right, let's meet our panel. They are the co-authors of the mega bestseller, The Rules. The new sequel is called The Rules 2. Sherry Schneider and Ellen Fine. Girls. How are you? Pleasure to meet you. Thank you for being here. Hi. How are you? Then they are the co-hosts of The Man Show, premiering June 16th on Comedy Central. Adam Carolla and Jimmy Kimmel. Boys. How are you, men?
Hello, how are you?
All right. Ladies? All right. Can you guess who's on what team? Okay, so now, I'll admit that when The Rules first came out, we were back on Comedy Central, where you guys are going to be with your show. We had our fun with it, but, I mean, this obviously has struck a huge nerve. It is beyond a bestseller. It has become part of the lexicon of America. So you've done something right, and you've hit a nerve, and if you don't know what basically The Rules is about, it's about getting a guy to behave. And for example, I'm just going to read from the flap. I'm not trying to summarize the whole book. There's a whole book. There's 2 of them you should buy if you're interested. But don't talk to a man first. Don't meet him halfway. Don't accept a Saturday night date after Wednesday. It kind of reminds me of the airlines. And my first question is, if you got a guy from doing this, could you ever really respect him?
I don't think they're interested in respecting. They want the marriage. They want the house. I mean, does the Eskimo have to respect the dog that yanks the sled? He just cracks the whip. He just wants to get the hell out of Anchorage, right? I mean, listen, does a used car salesman respect the sap that buys the junk that he's selling? He just wants to move it off the lot and get the next sucker in there.
So you see the analogy. You're in the Iditarod and you're a used car salesman.
We've heard it all before.
Yeah.
And do you have any answers that you've come up with, or?
We actually don't speak, but we wrote a book and that's all we can do. No, actually, we respect people that respected our boundaries and our self-esteem when we were dating them. So sure, what's the problem? And we can definitely love people that called us on before Wednesday for Saturday. What's the problem with that?
Well,
I want to know what's the problem.
The problem is that the whole book is about tricking guys into getting married.
So you've read it. Have you read the book?
Yeah, I did read that piece of crap. Yeah.
Come on.
You know, it's funny. I didn't know you knew how to read.
Come on.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm waiting until it comes in Papa.
Yeah, you know what I like best about The Rules?
Wait.
And this is the sign of an excellent book. A lot of exclamation points.
Jimmy,
What?
you're going to make me cross over to their side. And that will really upset everything. Well, it's not a piece of crap. It's, as I said, it's become part of the lexicon. I think it's interesting that 35 years ago, if you had written this book, it would not be a bestseller because women did this anyway, right?
But they were vacuuming. The women that read this book are out working. I'll tell you, it has a different tenor to it. Yeah, 35 years ago, the women, yes, you're right. It wouldn't have been a big shock.
It would not have been, you didn't need to tell women these things. They just did them naturally. You're not really saying anything new. You're just sort of...
Well, we updated it for the 90s, for the working woman, for the woman that wasn't taught home economics. We weren't home baking chickens and waiting to get a man. We were out running our own companies. But romantically, we found that things have not changed much between men and women in spite of the wonderful women's, revolution and feminism, which we are feminists because we wrote our own book. Our name is on the, is on the cover as opposed to like, they didn't tell us, oh, it's got to be a man's name, sorry. We have a movie.
What's the difference between 1 and 2?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like you could
Okay, this is the
consolidate
story.
all of that into
We have
a
The New
leaflet.
Testament is what this
We
is.
we do phone consultations at our office in New York City. We do email consultations. We got thousands of letters. We have a P.O. box in the back of the book, and people wrote to us and they asked us,
I said a
okay,
few of them,
I
I
love
think.
the rules. No, we didn't get any from you.
Yeah, no.
But we actually said, they said, we love the rules, but we wanted to know, what about an ex-boyfriend? What about long-distance relationships? Can you tell us more about, coworkers?
Couldn't you just email them back and save us this
Okay,
book?
but
It was bothering you?
if you had a book that sold this many
I
copies,
wrote a follow-up.
you would have written
I'd write a
follow-up.
follow-up to how I killed myself.
Yeah.
I really would. If I thought there's a buck in it.
Well, we wouldn't have, actually. See, we really believe in this. We really did the rules,
And-
and we believe in the rules. Yeah.
Why do you want to help so much?
They
Just
may
make a
work,
buck.
but what if they do work? I mean, is it a
Okay,
good
let's get
thing?
back to the question. You guys are not helping our cause with this, unannounced sort of hostility. Okay, but no, because we can win this on the facts.
Okay. We got you.
And
We may have God on our side as well,
Right,
Bill.
that's right.
Right.
Oh, you may not, Bill. But we have God
Okay.
on our
Yeah, I think so.
But I mean, basically, you brought up the question I started the show with. If you did get the guy by following these rules, wouldn't he be someone you didn't really respect?
No, you would respect him more because he didn't
Oh,
treat you like
come on.
garbage. He doesn't tout you around and say, hey, look, I'll give you a call sometime. Hey, look, we'll catch a movie. He calls you on
Don't
Monday
call
or
him-
Tuesday. He says, would you like to get together Saturday night? I thought maybe dinner. I'll
Don't
check
meet him
around.
halfway.
Yeah,
Don't
he
call
comes to
him
your
and
door.
rarely return
he
his
says hi to your
calls.
roommate. He can make eye
Always
contact with your mother.
Wait
yeah,
a second.
we
This
respect
is
men like that.
You respect a guy
There's
who
a-
you don't meet halfway, you don't return his calls,
No, we don't meet him in a
you
bar
don't talk to
halfway,
him
no.
first, you don't see him more than once or twice a week, no casual
If he
kissing.
hops up on the furniture, you got to squirt him with a squirt gun. He'll shed all over the
mean-
sofa.
This is a certain type of man who was lacking a certain type of anatomy.
You think a man that calls a woman on time and says he'll call when he calls when he says, and
Don't meet him halfway.
Let me,
doesn't say to you, hey, I'll pick you up at that joint like halfway between where we live, but says, you know what, I will come to your house and get you. Yeah, I would respect a man that does that.
But that's
Would
not what
anyone
you're
in this
saying.
audience not respect a man that came to the door and picked them up? Thank you. By the way, we have rules. We have a rules newsletter, and we have rules groups in California. Did any of the rules girls make it out here to the taping? Yes.
Oh,
okay. So we have actual support groups going on as we're speaking.
That was one woman.
Okay, you have to watch. These men
Some
ignore
support.
these guys.
Here's what the newsletter should say. Lose weight and start putting out.
I have to take a commercial. We'll come back to this. The authors of the phenomenally successful Rules and Rules 2 and the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. And really what we're talking about, I mean, the bottom line here is that men and women have different agendas and different goals. Isn't
And
that
that we
true?
are different. Besides
we-
agendas, we're just different. Men are motivated by challenge. Women are
Yes.
motivated by security.
Yes.
And the truth is if you give a man a little bit of a challenge and a woman gets a little bit of security in it, everyone's sort of happy.
Challenge. Adam
Yeah.
and I spend the whole day laying on the couch watching TV and occasionally masturbating. There's no challenge involved.
You know, I have like 75 girls that are going to want to go out with you.
I'm sure.
We don't need like a Rubik's Cube down your
Where did
undershorts
you
or
find these
anything.
guys? Like on the street?
Yeah,
oh my
we
God.
came in off the street.
Well, but
Do you live in a trailer or
Jimmy is,
something?
Yes,
but
I
I think
do.
Jimmy is
It's
typical
inside
of the
a
American
huge
male.
mansion, though.
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
right.
Well, that's good.
No, we
That's
don't think
good.
they are typical. We think most men want to get married and are
That's crazy.
and are and are turned off by women that are too aggressive.
No.
And
Now, see, I admire you for your realism, but now you're veering away from realism. Men don't want to get married.
Yeah. That's
Well,
why you wrote this
eventually they wanna
book,
get
by the
married.
way.
That's why you're getting rich. Yeah,
They're
listen.
they eventually
We love
get married.
aggressive women. We spend hundreds of dollars sometimes in the same club.
That's right.
On an aggressive woman.
All in
Really do.
singles.
Ones.
But here's the
You
reality.
know, this is great for the rules because you are so selling our book right now for us. I thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, that's what
Yeah,
we're here
but
for.
Here's the situation. The reality
I'll pay you
is
later.
guys get married when they're ready to get married, which is down the road, usually in their 30s. I mean, when you're 18,
Yeah.
19, 20, it's tough to get married because you got that biology going. You want to fight, you want to get laid, you want to have a good time. You have to wait until your prostate swells up bigger than your brain. You've lost your will to live. That happens in the mid to late 30s, and then you're ready to get
So
married.
there's no chance of you actually thinking that you could find a woman that you'd actually want to call early in the week because you'd be afraid that she might book up, and she's just special, and you do want to go to her home, because why should she have to take the bus or a cab or something, and it might be raining, and you might just actually care
But
about her.
that
and you
happens,
may fall in
yeah.
love and like want to marry her.
But not when you're 21,
No?
22.
So then nobody
It
gets
happens when you're
married?
older.
Hold on a
And I
second.
certainly would never fall in love with someone who treated me like a bitch.
But
which
they don't
is what
treat
you.
now.
Which is what this says. And it does. I mean, if someone didn't return my calls, didn't meet me halfway.
First of all, Bill, you
I
don't
would
even realize it, but you would enjoy your space. She wouldn't never return your calls. She would sometimes
Rarely
return your
return your
calls.
calls.
You wouldn't even-
sometimes return
You
my
would get a
calls.
lot
You
of
wouldn't
space.
even know a woman was doing the rules on you. Let's say you met a woman and she was going for a master's degree in psychology, okay?
I wouldn't know because
And
I
she-
wouldn't talk to her after the first one.
How would you
And you didn't know if she was not calling you back because she was truly busy or doing the rules. You just don't know.
Well,
you just
well-
know that you're attracted to her and that you.
do
I
know
know
rules
common
police?
courtesy is to return a phone call, which is what I do. That's irregardless of
But
sex.
when women do it to men all the time, men lose interest and move on to the next girl. And we've done experiments where women have
Not
actually
me.
said
Do you
no.
lose interest when a woman is nice to you? or
But
do
you're
you,
all single.
No.
Do you
We're
gain
not all
it?
single.
Oh, we're nice.
No, I've been married for more than 10 years, actually. Yeah.
To the same
And
man.
you talk like this?
All right, we'll towel off. We'll be right back. We'll sort that out. When I started that segment, I was going to say we have different agendas. Let me try to re-rack that one. And to me, I think for women, marriage is the equivalent of sex for men. Isn't that true? Isn't that what we want? We're on each sides of the
Bad.
the field,
Right.
to put it in our parlance, sports, the only thing we really can understand. And you're defending one goal, we're defending the other. But what we want is sex. What you want is marriage.
I don't even know if they want marriage. They want a wedding. It's,
Yeah.
it's the wedding. It's the outfit. the whole
Listen,
thing. Yeah.
here's what I'm going to write a book.
Tell us.
And this is the God's honest. This
Tell
is
it,
not a
tell
joke.
it, Tell it out.
Women really want that event. They want all their friends
Yes,
to
they do.
dress in dresses that make their asses look wide. They want the folks, they want the jewelry, they want the
Flower
church,
arrangements.
they register at the Pottery Barn or
That's
the Crate and the
very true.
Barrel,
Colors.
and they wonder why guys don't want to show up. You have that thing at a like barbecue supply store.
Can I tell you
You
something?
have like
Everyone we
Don
know-
Zimmer
all women we know-
preside over the ceremony. You give the guy like a replica Super Bowl ring.
This guy.
You're going to have a guy show up to that event.
We have rules. Husbands normally are like the most obsessed with the wedding, more than sometimes the wife. Yes, it's a
Well,
phenomenon
they're
that we could
idiots
never have
then.
known.
That is insane.
But they are very
You're
involved
saying
in the
the
planning.
men are more obsessed with the wedding than
They
the
enjoy
women.
it.
Rules on them.
They really
When
want
you
to get
do
married.
the rules, it's like doing karate or doing voodoo on them. Is what you're doing. Do the rules. You're creating robot
No, would you leave
brides.
them alone?
You're giving yourself boundaries and self-esteem. You're giving them
You know,
space,
Ellen
and
and I
everybody
What
do-
about
else
rule
Ellen
number
and I do
9?
consultations
Drug them.
with women all over not just the country, but the world. Women email us from India, Japan. They all do this. They meet a man. Within days, they're calling him all the time. They're going over to his house. They're leaving things in his room.
Feeding his camel.
And then he stops calling, and then he says,
They're like, and then he stops calling, and then he starts saying, I don't know, I had this spark for you in the beginning, and now I just want space. I want to be left alone.
I need
don't
time.
know how I
I'll call you in a
feel."
few weeks. We'll
And they're
see. We'll
like,
get
oh
together,
my
we'll have
God.
brunch.
And it's like the rules work. And even the women that said, oh, this is so silly,
Let me
call
ask
us
you
and
this.
say,
What if your rules clash with our rules? Because I know men, we had Tom Likas on, and he said he has a rule, which is he will not see a woman after a third date if sex has not occurred by the third date.
Aw, poor little thing.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm guessing Tom hasn't had a lot of third dates.
Well, I mean, he's just saying if he doesn't get what his
He
goal
sounds
is.
like a really nice guy, I'll tell you. And just one that a
Well,
person
why can
filled
you
with
have
morals and values.
But why are your goals? Why is your agenda more valid than ours? Why is your goal, marriage, more valid than our agenda, which is sex?
You don't go on a date when you're doing the rules and ask a guy when he's getting married. You eat the dinner. Sometimes you get an appetizer, you go home.
But your hidden
You just don't
agenda
grab
is
him
to
by
get
the neck
married.
and say, so you ever gonna call me again? Yeah, inside your heart, but you don't tell him that. You don't
Well,
tell
that's great. You're being sneaky then.
Oh, isn't that sneaky?
but why
Yeah,
don't
you
we
want to
just
get
let
married
men
one
sleep
day.
with us and then never call again?
But for a
Why
guy
should
to actually
we-
say, I wouldn't go out with a girl, well, then I guess
Oh, come on.
he
Nobody
wouldn't have
that
gone
feels
to bed. He wouldn't have had more than 3 days
He's
with
just
me,
like-
which would probably make him happy, but...
But what if you like sex? I mean, hypothetically.
Yeah.
Couldn't you indulge yourself and both, as mature adults, participate in something that you both
like 3
enjoy?
months of him calling you every week.
3 months.
For
2 to 3 months.
You have to call them up.
In
You
your
have to call them
case,
up at
3
like
years.
2 to 3 months.
Do I hear one?
Yeah. Really?
Is this
you'd
in
have sex
dog
in a
years?
hospital
You'd
bed.
be surprised. Listen to me, you guys
3
know
months.
that when you meet a girl you really like, you'll be friends with her for a while. You'll hang out, you'll have a beer with her.
Well, have sex with her friend until she's freed up.
You might. Can I tell you something, Adam? You might do that, but that's fine.
You know, they're why
because you're treating her.
They're why
you always
we wrote the
Don't fight,
rules.
ladies.
They're why we wrote the rules.
I know.
Yeah.
We're all why you wrote the rules. But you say, wait for the sex until you get to know us. Sex is for us how we get to know you.
Well, that's just a shame.
That's not true.
Hello.
Well, it's
Yeah.
But
I hope that I just hope no women listening to this program actually think that by sleeping with a man on the first, second, or third date, they will ever get anything out of anybody. You get nothing out of nobody.
oh, that is such a lie.
Nothing out of
Every
nobody.
relationship
I
I've
can
ever.
tell you one thing they'd get out of me. Twice, depending on how much B vitamins I've had that day and how much Gatorade I had on the nightstand.
And Wheaties.
That's right.
Yeah, no, but that's not true. Many
It's
people
not
get married
true.
that have sex
You're
the first
wrong.
time.
You're right,
You're
but
just-
that is not. That's because the woman wanted to. But if
No.
the guy lays it down and says, "Look, you got to sleep with me by the third date, or I'm out of here." Come
Well,
on.
let me tell you, you don't lay it down.
What do you do?
You're not crude.
Get her drunk.
But let me just say, for
There are
this,
pills that are now against the law. You can't really
I
do
know,
that.
I know.
I have always
You've got it.
responded, maybe you would agree, with girls who were nice to me and not what you. Girls
We are
who.
nice.
Rules girls
Bill,
would
we
never.
go on. Okay,
We are
we
nice.
meet at a party. You come up to me and you're like, "Hi, what's up? What's your name?" I tell you my name, and I won't slap you across the face yet. You haven't done anything.
Thank
and then
you.
You take my number.
princess.
You take my number. You call me a couple days later. You ask me if I'd like to go out on Saturday night. It happens to be before Wednesday. I say, "Oh, that's really great, Bill. I'd love to. Thank you." And we hang up, and you come and get me on Saturday night. We have a really nice time. I don't sleep with you, but we have a really great time. We crack up. We joke.
you
You
have
ask
a
me
good
about my
time.
job. I ask you about yours.
That's fine.
And what? So what?
what's
what?
not nice?
What happened?
Well, the part
Basic.
about
Just let me explain something. You ladies try to fool guys into the
By
marriage.
laughing and having
That's
a-
your gig.
Oh, come
We try to
on.
fool women into sex by
Right.
making them think we're laughing and having a good time. Tell me more about your cat that died in 8th grade. Oh, that's a tragedy. A tragedy.
Oh gosh, I think I want to have sex with you. But anyway, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. We needed a rules too. They have some stuff in here that sort of additions to the rules. One, I love this, is you have rules for meeting celebrities. Now this would apply to fellas like yourself.
Oh, sure.
And you have here you have a whole bunch of rules when you meet a celebrity or a famous athlete, something like that. You say, do not light up. Don't compliment him. Don't ask about his next movie or show any interest in his
Like
career.
no fawning. Like when they meet
Well,
you.
this
we
is
hate
beyond
that.
fawning.
Yeah.
Not a
This is, let me
groupie.
tell you something.
The
This
celebrities-
is bending over backwards to be less human, and that is what is a real turnoff to us
And
celebrities.
there's nothing celebrities.
Is that when people act less nice to us than they would if we were just normal.
Right.
Well, we
because
talk
they-
to the women that call us up and
Right.
say, "We want to do a phone consultation with you." Anyway, I'm dating this like big celebrity, and like I went to his hotel room the first night. We went for dinner. He signed my menu, and I never heard from him again. What went wrong? And we're like,
Well,
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 everything.
my
Charlie
type.
Sheen went to rehab for a while, I think, and that may have ended that one.
Yeah, the celebrities certainly don't need their egos fed either. That's an excellent
It's not
tip.
about
but
that. It's about
All the-
Everybody
you're
needs
a
their
little bit
egos.
mysterious. You're not a. I don't know. Something
Everything
about.
we wrote was from real experience. We
Yeah.
actually got calls from women saying, "I'm dating a rock
No.
star. I go to concert.
Hey, we
I go
are-
to
listen.
a dame and I follow him
I'm
around the
giving
country."
you the real experience.
But I'm telling you that you're single, and we got to get a girl who's smart enough to get you.
Listen, you want to marry a celebrity?
No, I don't.
Let him. Okay, well, if one wants to marry a celebrity, and you wouldn't mind marrying a celebrity,
I'm
come
married.
on. Hey, you dump your husband in a second.
Seriously?
Came back from India with a Woody or something. Come on.
Come
I
on now,
think just for
ladies.
you, Adam.
A
I just
couple
think
of
just for
drinks,
you.
we could have you over at the
And-
Motel 8,
Oh.
naked, spread eagle, covered with peanut butter, the whole thing. What do you say?
Anyway, so we do phone consultations, and we really enjoyed writing the rules and the rules too. And we just found that it gave women a chance to have
All right,
boundaries
then.
and self-esteem and not take buses, and it's great.
Okay.
We really.
Well,
we,
we're all
Mostly
for
not taking
we're all for women not taking buses.
Yeah.
Okay. Tomorrow we will have